Hello my darlings, I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a Reddit subreddit page called Tattoo Scratchers. I personally have never seen this page before, and I've definitely visited quite a few tattoo subreddits. And yeah, this one kind of just randomly popped up while I was scrolling through Reddit, just looking at like my home feed of all the subreddits that I'm like joined to, which isn't many. Like I think it's a Lush one, a perfume one, a makeup one, an RCPD one, which is a health thing that I have. And yeah, anyway, I was just scrolling through and this just randomly like was pushed into my feed thing, like as a advertised or as a recommended or something, I don't know. And I was like, oh, this could be hella interesting to look through for like a video or what have you. As you may know, I'm very much for going to professional tattoo artists. For me personally, I always say that, you know, having tattoos done at home by those that have never been through an apprenticeship, or, you know, at least been looked after by a tattoo artist and mentored in some way, shape or form, is just not a good idea. And I, of course, know that there are many, many successful and very talented tattoo artists out there that never did an apprenticeship. I'm not completely blind to that whole situation. Like, I know there is some out there. But for me personally, like, with the type of content I do, I feel like it's obviously better for everyone involved if I say, you know, going to a professional tattoo artist that has been trained or has extensive knowledge within the tattoo world is a lot safer than going to someone who tattoos out of their shed or in their bedroom with like next to no knowledge of, you know, cross-contamination, bloodborne pathogens, you know, stuff that keeps you safe and keeps you from getting infections. All right, like I'm all about the safety side of things because we're dealing with needles and, you know, open wounds here. Like, we gotta take this seriously. But of course, like, tattoos have been done for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. And, you know, there's still people to this day, you know, especially with culture tattoos, tribe tattoos that are done basically out in the sticks with bits of sticks, you know, and sharp thorns and ink made out of the most questionable things, and they have all been okay and survived, you know. But yeah, as a whole, when it comes to like the western side of the world, it's up to you how you feel about tattoo scratchers. But anyway, I thought it'd be interesting to see what happens within this Reddit page. The about section for this page says, the not too licensed, much friendlier alternative to the r/tattoos. Feel free to ask questions, share your work, stories, memes, whatever your inked up heart desires. Oh god. The first one. It's honestly kind of iconic. It's a Trisha Paytas tattoo that says, I'm a chicken nugget. Do we remember that video? Is that still up? Oh my gosh, if that's still up, iconic. Honestly, like I can't fault this tattoo by any means. Like, it's kind of good. Like, the style of it, in my opinion, it's not that bad, you know? Like, if I saw this on Instagram, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's pretty iconic, you know? First big tattoo. I'm so used to r/tattoo apprentice, so if I'm being a bit defensive in this, forgive me. I've been learning to tattoo, and I recently decided to practice on my own skin with small, easy to cover up designs. However, since those were going really well, I decided to take up the challenge of a larger design. Now, I understand the risks of tattooing without a mentor, and I haven't taken a bloodborne pathogen certificate yet. This is why I'm only doing myself and working myself up. I mean, all right, fair. Honestly, like, if you want to put yourself at risk, it's your own, you know, like, it's your bed, you lay in it kind of thing. Like, if you want to handle the medical bills when you eventually potentially give yourself an infection, sure, whatever, that's your fault. So yeah, I'm glad they're just working on themselves and not, you know, putting other people at harm. That is the big yikes, you know. I see a lot of obvious issues like needle depth being inconsistent. Nah, really? And a few parts of the design I struggled with because the stencil had worn off. Once this heals, I'll go back in and fix it as much as I can, as well as adding shading to cover a few mistakes. Despite all of this, I'm very proud of myself. I'm excited to keep learning this art and its process, as this is their first ever large scale tattoo, or largest scale tattoo. I mean, yeah, it's not perfect by any means. Like, even if you went to a tattoo apprentice that has a mentor, I feel like the majority of them could do a much better job without, you know, without being shady or whatever. But like, you'll get there, sweetie, you'll get there. Just did a Sims tattoo, and their Instagram is catnip farming. The thing is with stuff like this, I'm gonna be like a little bit biased just because I love what this is meant to be. Like the Sims tattoo, I'm a big fan of the Sims. So like this, just like with the style of all of this, it truly does give like early 2000 vibes. Like it literally looks like someone has done like this art piece on a notebook while they're at school dreaming of playing the Sims because they're bored at school. You know, it just gives me that kind of vibes. Like I can't hate it. When it comes to like the technique and stuff, yeah, it's not great. Like the line work has struggled here and there. The saturation is definitely struggling. Like it's pretty patchy in places, but I feel like that kind of adds on to like the feel of it, you know, like that nostalgic feel. I don't know, like I can't hate it. I really can't. Redid a tattoo a friend of mine got on a kitchen table by someone else on my couch. So like the kitchen table was like not acceptable, but tattooing on a couch, that is okay. He specifically asked me to just re-ink the lines to make that special fella visible again. I think it's a otter rocking out, right? But like what is going on with what is going on, full stop. It looks like this otter is like wearing a t-shirt, then it's like furry, so like is it naked on the chest nether region area, and then is it wearing boots because the hair isn't there either, and then there's hair on the tail, but then there's no hair on the face. Like what is happening with this? And it's still a hot mess, okay? Like, yeah, okay, we can see it, and I think that's a good thing. Oh my lord. New ankle foot tat on myself. Hello everyone, I had a wonderful idea of starting a foot sleeve sock. A foot sleeve sock. Oh my god, yes, let's all start calling tattoos on the feet like tattoo socks. And this was my first edition. It stung a bit, so I decided to let it heal, then go back to do shading. My stencil wiped off in some areas, so I had to freehand, plus the position I was in had me wanting to break my foot to get a good angle. So it's not insanely symmetrical, but I love it. Thoughts? Well, as long as you love it, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yes, the symmetry is completely off. Line work is completely off. With designs like this, you really do have to rely on symmetry and making sure everything is as even as possible. Otherwise, it's going to look completely off. And this does look completely off, in my opinion. But they tried. They tried. You know, I can see an effort was made. And especially, like, yeah, tattooing yourself there cannot be easy by any means. It would not be nice on your back, that's for sure. Day 5, still very painful and red. I think a doctor's visit might be in order. There's still like an open wound there. It shouldn't still be an open wound after 5 days. It should definitely be heading towards like the dry phase, you know, like it should be like sealed over by now, you know, like that doesn't look good. I did this and another tattoo on Sunday, and now on Thursday it's still very tender and red. I don't think it looks like an allergy or an infection. Did I just color too rough? First attempt at color. Yeah, I don't know how this person has managed to be so heavy-handed and yet have not much color payoff at the same time. You know, like it looks scarred. It looks like it has been grinded on into the skin, especially with how much like is going on here with like the open wound vibes, you know? Like how have you done so much but so little at the same time? Like that takes some skill. Tips for a beginner learning from YouTube. Newest to oldest. I'm using cheap ink at the moment. I only realized recently that it's not the best for grey washing. I must order some dynamic black to try instead before I start tattooing people, which is, don't want to give out like tips and tricks or anything, but dynamic black ink is like one of the best. My favorite of the ones I've done is the dark mark on the last page. Okay, so I think this person is tattooing on fake skin. I will say that is quite a good, like that is quite good. I'm all about it, and by the looks of things, all the other ones look pretty good too. Like they are so clean, especially the line work. Like there isn't much shakiness there at all. Like that is smooth and crisp, like with the majority of this line work actually. Like this is good. This one is also incredibly good. Like the black work may be struggling a little bit. It looks a teeny bit patchy in places here and there, but then I have heard that like tattooing fake skin is incredibly hard. Like to get that saturation, it takes some skill and some practice. And as they've only just like started, I can't knock it too much, you know? That's really, really good. That is really good. I'm pretty sure the dark mark is a Harry Potter symbol though, right? I think so anyway. But yeah, fuck JK and her transphobia. But yeah, anyway, when I see stuff like this, someone who clearly has, you know, a love and a passion and a talent for it, I'm rooting for them so much. I'm just like, oh, please, like, if you can get that apprenticeship, it will help you so much. Could you just imagine where this person would go with an apprenticeship, working like full time within a tattoo studio eventually? Like, their work looks like this now. Could you just imagine how good they're going to be in like 5 years time? Few practice pieces I did this week, and we have, I think, like a teeth situation. It looks like vampire teeth, and again, the line work here, like the style of it is kind of artsy and what have you, but like the line work, if you look at the outside, is like smooth. That is very, very satisfying. Oh my gosh, and with this one as well, this is some clean as fuck work. Like, this is so good. Like, oh, like the smoothness here and like round here, and then with the teeth as well. Ooh, good. Another person that could easily smash being a tattoo artist, you know, doing an apprenticeship, learning the correct things to make things safe for their clients and stuff. Normal or infected, overworked. It's about 6 days old and heavy peeling. I think it might just be overworked. Ooh, that is scarred. Yeah, that's been done far too deep. Like, the shine on that is crazy, and it is like normal for your tattoos to look a bit shiny while it's in the healing phase or what have you, but like it shouldn't have this much texture to it. Like, a tattoo should not be super 3D. Like, yes, sometimes the outlines of your tattoo may raise up or what have you when you get too hot. That's like completely normal. You shouldn't feel your tattoo while you're like rubbing over it. Like, I cannot feel my hand tattoo at all. There's like no texture to it. It doesn't feel like braille or what have you. Like, it's not popping out my skin completely. How did I do? Hey guys, I learned the other day that you can tattoo on fruit. Please give me feedback. I practiced tattoos a few years ago and I just picked it up again. This is day 4. Tattooing fake skin was so frustrating, but I'm having better time on fruit. Any feedback or pointers are much appreciated. Okay, I feel like they're doing pretty well, to be honest with you, especially that heart. Like, that looks pretty good for something that's probably free-handed. Like, okay, it is a little bit more pointier here than it is here. Like, it's rounder here and a little bit more pointy here, but the line work seems kind of smoothish. Like, you know, obviously tattooing, what is this fruit? What is it? Is it an orange? It's a big orange. But yeah, it can't be easy to tattoo these kind of things. Oh, they're doing pretty well, actually. Like, this moon is actually pretty good. Like, again, it's honestly, it actually is pretty, it's pretty decent. They're doing okay. Yeah, like, to do circles, like they did a circle here, and they are like one of the hardest things a tattoo artist could do, because, well, if you fuck up a circle, it's gonna be very obvious because a circle is like perfectly round. I know I'm like stating the obvious, but like, to be able to do a perfectly round circle within a tattoo takes some freaking skill. Holy cow. Oh, this is so good. First time trying True Skin Platinum Silicone. It's been very different than your average fake skin, and it seems to be much more realistic. It's more expensive, but in my opinion, certainly worth it. I hope it will make the transition to real skin much easier. The fact that people can just bang this out onto freaking fake skin or onto people's skin. Like, it will just always blow my mind that people can create such beautiful works of art on skin, fake skin, wherever. Like, it's just, oh, I just have so much, like, oh, what's the word? Like, I don't know. I just, like, find it so fascinating and just so cool and awesome. My describing words are so bad. Oh, they're so good. Like, for someone that hasn't, you know, been trained or had a mentor like standing over them and telling them what is good, what's a good technique and what have you, like, they're probably only working off of YouTube videos, but there's only so much a YouTube video can tell you. You know, you don't have someone standing over you being like, oh, if you try this, you'll get this result. With apprenticeships, they're a lot more personally catered to you and what you can and cannot do and what you need improving on. So yeah, for someone that's like teaching themselves, they're doing such a great job. Like, I'm more than happy to give credit where credit is due, you know? Like, yes, I don't agree with, you know, doing tattoos in your kitchen and stuff, but the artistic style of things, when people do fake skin and stuff, I'm here for it, honestly. Fucked up cover, 5 scratcher on myself. Fucked up a little bit and it cover me instead of cover me. Oh, no. Drew, stenciled and tattooed all myself, so who's to blame though? How do you make this mistake? It could be an easy fix, to be honest with you. You could easily just add on some lines and then it makes it an E So it's not like the end of the world. There's some space there, so it's no big deal. Did this person do cover me as like a way to be like, hey, this is gonna be a cover up, or like what is with the cover me? I did my first tattoo and I regret it so much. So my significant other had been pushing me to tattoo them and I knew I wasn't ready. Oh my god. My lines are still insanely shaky and I don't have good depth control yet. But I said yes because I wanted to make him happy. No, this is a recipe for disaster. We stopped halfway through because his skin was getting too irritated, but I've been crying for 2 days because it looks horrible. He says he loves it because I did it, but I'm embarrassed and I feel so much guilt for putting it on his body. Is this savable? Or should I pay for him to go get it professionally fixed or removed? Please be kind. I'm aware I fucked up and haven't even finished it. Oh, I do feel bad for them. The thing is though, this is so easily fixed. You could easily get a tattoo artist that's, you know, a professional, been tattooing for a while or gone through an apprenticeship or whatever, to go in and like really fill this out, fix the line work here and there, make sure the shading is like just a little bit more controlled and a little bit more thought out, add a little bit more like shading to the face as well because it looks kind of blank here. Like if you add some shading under the hat so it looks like it's got like a shadow from the hat kind of thing, it's really not that big of a deal. Like I understand this person probably does feel incredibly bad, but it's really not like the worst tattoo I've ever seen. Like I can literally tell it's a cat in cowboy boots with a cowboy hat on, you know, like it's readable. We get the point. I wouldn't beat yourself up too much about it. Like it could have been so much worse. People should for sure not tattoo if they're not comfortable with it. Obviously, I know that first tattoo is always going to be scary for an apprentice or someone learning to tattoo. Without a doubt, it's going to give you so much freaking anxiety and you're going to second guess everything. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to think it's looks bad, even if it does look pretty good. So yeah, I understand that, but don't ever let anyone pressure you into doing a tattoo if you feel like you're not ready. Like a mentor will probably say, come on now, like you're ready to tattoo, because they think you're ready to tattoo. But if you truly don't feel you are ready, then obviously don't do it. Like there should be no pressure with it, but you have to start eventually, right? Ignorant illustrative doodle tattoos, recent works. Wanted to keep the doodle charm. This was my first 2 back pieces ever. I've been tattooing for 3 years and a big part of my process is to treat tattooing as an experimental art form by working freehand and creating tattoos that push the norms of traditional tattooing through design. Tattoo is free, free heart, free mind, free body. Instagram, Hawthorne Hearts. Okay, like that I fully understand. Ignorant or doodle tattoos or whatever you freaking want to call them. Tattoos like this, okay, do get shit on quite a bit. For me, it's just not for me. Like it's not a tattoo style I would get personally. I just like a lot more of like an artistic piece. Like not to say this isn't artistic because art is in the eye of the beholder, of course, but to me, I just like tattoos that have a little bit more oomph in them. I don't know how else to say this politely because I don't want to like shit on this type of style or anything, but I don't know, it's not for me personally, you know, like that's so much real estate taken up by this, you know, like ugh. I don't hate this, like this kind of thing I can get behind. I prefer this over this. Like this to me is kind of cute. I'm kind of about it. It's kind of, yeah, it's endearing. I like it. This one, again, it's not something I would ever get personally, but I like it. And this one as well, to be honest, I quite like this. Like, I like this type of thing, like the creative black work kind of thing. Like, imagine this a little bit more filled out and then made into like a full sleeve. I'd be about that. I really would. Oh, the little cat in the hat. Oh, that's adorable. That's definitely my favourite thing here. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this type of style of tattoo. Like, how do you feel about it personally? Again, I know it's probably one of the most hated styles of tattooing, but I feel like at least some of you would enjoy it in some way, right? It honestly is nice to see something different and something to break up the continuous, you know, traditional realism, very well put together tattoos. A little bit of chaos or creativity like this can't do anyone any harm, right? This is so random. Would I need to be rich to get tattoos like this? Yes. For a whole ass bodysuit of that quality, that would have been so much money, like a lot of money. Oh gosh, and it would take years as well. Like, yeah, that's a long process. Tattoo right there. What am I doing wrong? All of it is wrong. What is this meant to be? What is that? Can anyone decipher? I haven't read the thing yet, so there might be an answer there, but what is that? Can anyone figure out what that is? What is that? I honestly, I'm not being an arsehole. I truly cannot figure out what this is. I know for a fact, though, when I edit this, I'll actually eventually end up seeing what it's meant to be. Yeah, I now see that that is a tooth. I apologise. Anyway, as you can see, this is a really bad tattoo. Yes, I will agree. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It looks great until I clean it. Really good with green soap, and it's horrible. I don't know if I'm not going deep enough, but if I go any deeper, I get blowouts. Everything I've been trying has not made a difference. Any advice is appreciated. It seems like this person's technique really isn't down at all. Like, their line work is incredibly like shaky in places. I just feel like they're maybe rushing things, and like their machine isn't tuned up correctly as well, because like you shouldn't always obviously blame your tools. Like, artists blaming their tools for how bad their work is never really, you know, flies. But with tattoo machines, obviously the machine has to be, you know, set up correctly, otherwise you're gonna run into a world of problems. But yeah, it's just, it literally does look like scratch work. It looks like this person has like scratched it into the skin here. The drawing versus the tattoo. First session down, leg sushi will feature some color later, all freehanded on myself, of course. So wait. Oh, okay, so this is the drawing, right? I hope so. I do hope so. I hope this isn't the tattoo, because yikes. But I'm all for a sushi tattoo. I love a sushi. Oh my gosh. Thing is with me, I don't get too complicated with my sushi. You know, I like a cucumber maki and a bit of soy sauce, and I'm good. Like, that's some good stuff right in my mouth right there, you know. So let's see how this turned out. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Help, how can I fix this? You can't. Well, I learned pinups are tricky. Yeah, I mean, any kind of thing, object, image with like anatomy is going to be hard, because if you get one thing wrong, the whole thing is gonna look off. So like the titties are incredibly high, like unless you've had a crazy boob job and you're wearing a very, very supportive cleavage enhancing bra, nobody's boobies are all the way up here. Nobody's, okay? And the arms, like one elbow is up here, one elbow's down here. And what's with this shin here? Like, surely this shin should be further back if someone is like to the side a little bit. But I feel like maybe a tattoo artist, like a professional, could go in and try and fix this somehow. Or it might just have to be a full-blown cover-up with something else, like a bunch of flowers, just whack it on top. Hide it. Oh, what is that? What is that? What were you trying to achieve here? Oh my god. It's a choice. Okay, why do I like this one? This, to me, is incredibly cool and very unique. I honestly don't think I've ever seen something like this before, which is kind of shocking considering how basic it is, you know, like it's basically a gradient of dots that just fade out and spread out, kind of like a firework or something, or like someone's just dropped a bunch of black soot or something like that. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Especially like this angle of it, like from this angle, it looks really, really cool. I don't particularly like this area so much. I think we did too much. But if it was basically just like a round circle and then just faded out like onto this person's palm, down onto their wrists, and then, you know, on their hand like it does, I would like it a lot more. I think this is incredible. It's just this part here I'm not too much of a fan of. So the majority of the not safe for work tattoos on here have been safe for work. I don't know why they've been hidden. And I clicked on this one thinking, oh, it'll be fine. It's not fine. What are you doing? Heinous behavior. I mean, it's one thing to get a tattoo from a scratcher, but to get a tattoo like this from a scratcher is something else. Like, this is something else. Yeah, I mean, luckily the quality of it is bad, so you can't, it's not like super graphic. I mean, we can figure out what's going on here, but it's not like terribly graphic, you know? Anyway, I feel like I should end it here, because that's a perfect note to end on, right? Like, we've seen enough. I've had enough. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on scratcher tattoo artist. Would you ever personally go to someone else's house and get tattooed by someone that hasn't had the correct training, considering that tattoos were basically born from scratcher tattoo artists? You know, like, tattoos have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and rules and regulations have only been something that have been very important for the past 40, 50-ish years. And yeah, that is it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little while. And until my next video, bye!